Hey there, this is Nate English here with our Vuelta podcast. Here's Gregory Kennedy, and we're covering stage 9 of the Vuelta, which was kind of an exceptional stage. They don't have many sprint stages. Today and tomorrow are two of them, smack dab in the middle of the race. So it was a very different kind of experience. They had you want to describe, you love the suicidal breaks with the small teams. So you want to say what went down today, Gregory? This is your favorite.
I love the Vueltas. They seem to specialize in this. There's always a few wild card teams. They're generally the same teams. Caja, Rural, and then what's the
Burgos BH.
That's the Spanish team, right? And then the French team that's usually in the Tour, Total Direct Energy. They're in it, but they were not in the break today. It was the two Spanish teams. And I just love it. It's like those guys are like almost 2 hours behind. Like they're no threat to anybody on GC. So the
Peloton could like stop and have a coffee for half an hour and still it wouldn't matter.
Basically. So like, why are they out there? Right. Cause it's like fun and they're like having a great time and they're just trying to get some attention for their sponsors. I think they go back and like, hey, we got a lot of airtime.
It's great for them. It's good. There were two riders today. They got a few minutes and it was pretty hopeless. Like unless people just totally, I don't know, if the whole Peloton crashed, they had a chance, but there was no real chance. And they got brought back kind of early. I was surprised that they timed it that way because they came back like, I forget, like 15K to go, like a ways out. It was the Peloton was together for a while, so it was kind of like all across the road. The teams were kind of like half setting up their sprinters, but it didn't really get hot until like the last 5K or so. But it was a pretty good run in. There were some like narrow streets. There was like an old timey like stone bridge that they had to cross in the last 10 minutes of the race. It was pretty fun. On the map, if you like zoom in, you can see they anticipated like 3 pretty tight turns. One of them was like just over a K to go. But going to the stage, did you have a pick? I think we might have both had the same pick for who we thought was going to win.
I think like the last sprint stage, like for me, it's very clear like Sam Bennett is going to dominate every sprint stage. He's the best sprinter. He got the green jersey in the Tour. He's on Quick Step, the best sprint team out there.
Yeah, and they've been doing nothing.
He took the sprint finish today, right? Yeah. So like, I don't think it was a huge surprise. Ackerman was let's call it wild card favorite of the dark horse. And, he made a great attempt, but I looked at that sprint like on slow motion and like, I don't think even as great a job as he did, like, I think Bennett took it easily. I mean, he literally put his hands up before he crossed the line and almost pulled an Alaphilippe, but he clearly had the win. So there's no doubt in his mind that he had it.
Yeah, he had like almost a bike length at the end. And it was close for a second. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Thiessen from Lotto Soudal was like right there, but Ackerman barely got it. It was a good sprint. It was fun to watch. The GC remains unchanged. I guess it's just a good reminder that Roglic had a front flat, like maybe 15K out and had to get a bike change. He got back on, no problem. But if that had happened just like a few K later, it could have been a little more challenging for him to like get back up in the front and he could have been caught behind.
Hey, I'm looking at the standings right now. It says Ackerman is number 1. Did Bennett get disqualified?
Oh yeah.
Let me see if there's anything on Twitter.
Yeah. Sam Bennett was relegated. Nothing was crazy.
Jury's decision. Cool. We can leave that piece where it's like just in the standings.
Both, I think, were thinking that Sam Bennett would take the win, and he did win the sprint, but we just saw that he got relegated because I guess he was overly aggressive in pushing out one of the other riders out of the lead-out train that he was a part of. And it's kind of interesting because you don't see it in the last few hundred meters. We think it happened like closer to a K out after they make the sharp left-hander. And, they posted the results. It looked like Bennett had won, but just a few minutes after the stage, they came out with a relegation for him and Ackerman took the lead. So he's not the strongest sprinter, but I guess you have to ride clean to get the wins. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it fascinating, right? Well, like the sprint finish has always been really aggressive in the pros. My take was always like the stuff that they do on a regular basis would get you banned from like racing in local races for sure. Like they are really aggressive. They're physical. They'll bounce each other out with shoulders and headbutt and stuff. I mean, talking with Chris Horner, like our friend of the Berkeley Bike Club, he's been very clear about like they're these big, strong guys who will just kind of bounce around on each other and stuff, and just do things that like gentlemen's kind of racing that people participate in locally. It's just not the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So do I think they made the right decision? I think trying to make the sport safer and make the sprint finishes safer is a big priority. I don't think they should have any downhill finishes at all. They still have a few. We saw that crash earlier when Poland, right? That was just terrible. I think they should make the sports safer. I don't know if relegating people is the best way to do it, but that's what happened.
Yeah, it was a surprise turn of events, because I feel like nothing that I observed was that crazy. I mean, it seems pretty average, but maybe the officials that are just at the Vuelta are like extra concerned about safety. Maybe, I don't know, especially with like COVID, maybe they're like extra concerned about safety just across the board, and not just health, like medical concerns, but also like the racing dynamic. There was a crash earlier, just like in the middle of the stage, and one of the directors, like the rider was back in. He was like probably going to finish the stage. I haven't heard anything about him since then, but like he crashed, and the director had his old helmet in the like driver's door that one of the motos was filming, and the whole like back 2/3 of it was just blown off. Like he had crashed and like took the back of his helmet apart. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a dangerous sport. It's never a bad idea to try to make it safer. But it was surprising to me to see that turn of events. But I guess he'll have another run at it tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll be extra motivated. So unless something happens, I think he's definitely my pick for the win tomorrow. And I mean, it seems like that would be the case for you as well. We agree that he's the strongest sprinter.
He's clearly the strongest sprinter. It is an odd series of events. He didn't seem to do anything that I thought was like you said, out of line with how pros race.
Yeah, but he'll have a chance. Yeah, tomorrow, maybe stage 14. There's like a few bumps on the profile, but nothing huge. And I think the last thing is a Cat 3 that's like 15K out or so. And then, of course, the last stage into Madrid. So we'll see how it goes down. After that, the weekend, it's going to be big. Lots of climbing, lots of epic GC battles. It's going to be fun to watch. So yeah, we'll come back tomorrow with whatever goes down for, I guess, really like the third of 4 sprint stages in the whole race. So it'll be fun. It's high stakes because there's not many opportunities for the sprinters in the race. But yeah, thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks. Bye-bye.